Facebook. It's Kayla with the Limitless Lifestyle Program. We're more than likely going to have a 4-year-old interruption during this video, just an FYI. But I had to get on here because I was just on a coaching call with my mentoring group, and there's a lot of ladies on there, lady coaches, just like me, and we get fired up about what I'm about to talk about, okay? So a line I've heard more times than I can count is, Kayla, I'd love to do your program, but I need to talk to my husband first. Okay. Here's the thing about that line. Is generally, actually about 95 to 98 to 9, maybe even more % of the time, it has nothing to do with the financial commitment or the cost of the program. Okay? Now, there have been some very rare, and when I say rare, I mean very, very rare instances where a wife did actually genuinely have to discuss with her husband the cost of the program, and they genuinely actually did break it down budget-wise. But it probably has happened 5 times in the last 6 to 7 years. Okay? And I get on, this is like, I'm not exaggerating, okay? Generally, the line, Kayla, I need to talk to my husband first, does not mean they need to talk to their husband about the cost of the program. Usually, there's one of 2 things that are going on in that woman's head, okay? And husbands do this too, but you know what? Mostly women do this. I'll be real. So, one of 2 things is happening. 1, they don't believe that they are worthy enough to spend that amount of money on themselves. And so instead of accepting that reality, they put the husband in front. Okay? So number 1, you don't feel worthy that you should be able to spend that money on yourself. Okay? Whether that's because of some belief that you're carrying from before, it's because you're now married, and so you are no longer Kayla, you are Shane's wife, or whatever, okay? Or you are no longer Kayla, you are Striker's mom. Which, by the way, I hate it when people call me Striker's mom. I'm Kayla. Just ask me my name. Anyway, because I am Striker's mom, but that is not my identity. Does that make sense? So, sometimes we go through an identity crisis, okay? And so we don't believe that we should be able to take that money from them, okay? Because in some sense, we feel like that's what's happening if we spend the money on ourselves, okay? On the thing that we want. Maybe so-and-so is going to need it later. Maybe we need it to pay for so-and-so's gymnastics, whatever, okay? So stop believing that, first of all, okay? And you're worthy. You're worth it, okay? When was the last time your husband asked for your permission to buy a rifle or a snowboard or a snowmobile or a backpack that goes with a snowmobile that keeps him from dying in an avalanche or whatever? Insert their hobby and accessories. Most husbands don't ask for permission. They come home and they say, honey, guess what I bought? Right? It's because they don't lose their identity when they get married. Because unfortunately, this is a patriarchal society. That's what we live in. I'm fine with it, but that's the truth, right? That's the fact of the matter. So that's number 1. You don't believe you're worthy of it. Number 2, you're looking for permission to not do it. Because if somebody else can talk you out of it, then that means you made the right decision. Because you don't want to make the change right now. But your husband is a really good excuse, right? And so you want to make sure that you're making the right decision by not signing up. Right? Because if you really wanted something, like genuinely wanted change, nothing would talk you out of it. If you genuinely wanted a specific car and you knew financially that you guys could make it work and it was like that important to you, you'd make it happen. There's no question about it, right? And so it's the fear that comes up when, boom, okay, so let's say I drop the cost, all right? Boom, this program's $5,000. It's not that much, but $5,000, okay? Deer in the headlights. Ugh. right? You can't remember the last time you spent $5,000 on yourself. And so you say, I'll have to talk to my husband about that. Okay, it has nothing to do with finances. If your kid needed surgery tomorrow and you needed $5,000 to pay for it, otherwise they would die, do you think you would find the $5,000? Yup. Do you think you would have asked your husband for permission for the $5,000? Nope. Would you have even talked to your husband? Nope. You would have said, honey, the surgery cost $5,000, but it was important. That's what you would say, okay? That's the facts. So 1, you either believe that you are not worthy of the $5,000. You don't think that you should be able to spend that much money on yourself. What if someone else needs it? What if your kids need it for school? What if your husband needs it for a new car? What if you need to fix your car? What if, et cetera, right? So it's like, this isn't, I am not worth that money. This change isn't worth it. Me being a better mom is not worth it. Me living longer than 76 because of health issues is not worth the $5,000 that it's going to take. I'm not worth it. They all are. Everyone in my life is. I'll find $5,000 for all of you that I have to take care of, but not for me. No. Right? And then number 2, you don't want to change, or you're scared to change, or you're scared you're going to fail. And so instead of facing your fears and going for it, you're looking for permission to not. Validation, even. To not sign up. Right? Like if someone says, hey, I want to talk to my husband, I go, okay, great. Are you looking for permission or support? Because I'm assuming you want to do this program, right? Sometimes they don't even want to do it. Really. Like if they're being really honest with themselves, they're not ready for change. Or, like I said, they're too scared to, right? And so they go to their husbands and they say, honey, guess what? I got on this call with this person, but the program was $5,000. That's a lot of money, huh? I probably shouldn't do it, huh? Do you see the difference? Instead of, honey, so I found this coach. She's freaking awesome. She's going to change my life. And she told me that she's going to help me lose weight. And I've just been feeling really down. And I know it was $5,000, but I have to do it, okay? Do you know what your husband's going to say? Totally, honey. Let's do this. Let's figure it out. Right? On the other side, he's going to say, totally, that's a lot of money. Yeah, probably shouldn't have signed up for that. I mean, I can take you to the gym. I can train you. Please. So, 1, you're worthy. 2, stop being afraid of failure. If you don't know my thoughts on fear of failure, I'll tag you in another video. But stop using your husband as an excuse, okay? Get rid of the ball and chain that you're giving to your husband. He's not tying you down. You're tying yourself down. Do you see what I'm saying? Anyway, have a wonderful Tuesday, and I love you all.